So we have a lot of customers that have been ordering oil coolers. Some are having us install them. And for the people that are doing their own installs, I want to shoot a video, a how-to video on how to install it. So just a quick walk around, and I'm gonna have one of my technicians here, John Carney, who actually does the installs here at the Anaheim office. He's gonna walk through the parts and then actually how the lines are run underneath. That's why I have it up in the air. And you'll be able to see the way we routed them so we don't have any interference with the drive shaft, the different Adele clamps and zip ties we're using. And he'll walk you through the different hardware and the different pieces. But we're gonna start up front real quick. I'll introduce John. He'll just talk about the couple components that are mounted to the oil cooler before you insert it into the frame and secure it, and then we'll walk about running the lines and the different hardware that comes. So first off, here's the hardware that comes with the kit. And I'll let John talk you through it. John Carney.
All right, guys, how you guys doing today? All right, so we're going to be using these washers here, which are going to go in between your cooler and the frame. I'll show you that here in a second. And then the rubber grommets are going to mount down the bottom of the frame as well, underneath. Before we do that, you're going to get 3 of these caps. 2 are going to go back into your factory oil cooler to go ahead and cap that off. What you want to make sure you do is take a small drill bit and drill a hole through the center of one of the caps, either the top or bottom. You want that to be able to vent so that it doesn't expand with building pressure and everything else completely sealed off.
So what John's talking about is we no longer use the heat exchange in your factory radiator. So once we take those lines off, you do have to put a cap in. But if you cap it entirely, it won't vent, and then you'll have heat exchange issues. You can crack the radiator. So we supply you 2 of them. Only one has to be vented, and that allows pressure to release.
And the third one goes on top of our oil cooler for your fill.
And so you'll fill again in the back of the dry sump tank that we always do. But again, the final fill will be filling the oil cooler from the top, and that's what that last cap's for. John's going to lower the car just so I can show you those 2 pieces. There is a different kit for every chassis due to the oil line length, so we will make sure we make that update on the site so you can pick your chassis. That way you get all the right oil line lengths and fittings. So that extra cap John's talking about, this is where you'll be able to fill from, and this is once you have this topped off and you prime your motor properly. This should maybe need a little bit more oil, but John, how many quarts does this take?
I'm putting 2 in the cooler here, and obviously I'm not draining in the tank and everything, I'm just draining the engine, and I'm putting another 3 in the engine. So we're adding 5 quarts because the tank holds 2. So it's going to put you up to about a 7-quart system.
7-quart system, wow, okay.
Yeah. So these washers here I was talking about, they're going to go in between here, okay? And they're plastic washers. They're going to go in between there when you do it. The kit comes with these bolts. If you have a bumper already installed, then you're going to just use your factory bumper bolts. If you have a horn, your horn is going to get relocated, and you're going to put your horn on this bolt here, on your bumper bolt, and bolt it, and that horn's going to sit here since it's no longer going to be able to sit down in this channel where the cooler's at. So that's our relocation there for that. And then these grommets here, like I was talking about, they just go right into the frame there and sit underneath.
And that's just for vibration, so you don't sit metal on metal. So we'll put this car back up in the air, and we'll walk you through the oil lines. We've done a lot of testing on my car. I have a 3-fan system, and we realized that we get so much ram air and with the extra oil capacity that we actually don't need to run the fans. I run about 185 to 190 max oil temp, and my water temps sit at 180 all the time. So as long as your oil temps are 185, your water temps will be right about the same. So final product, we decided we don't need fans on our cars, even though some of our race cars still have them. There's just no reason to run them with as much ram air as we get up front. And I'll go underneath with John right now and show you, once the lines have come from the top, and we'll get another video when it comes down of how those run, so we'll have some pictures, but you can see the oil lines on both sides, how they run off, and I'll chase them down the system for you, in front of the car and down. It goes right through the firewall. and I'll let John do the rest.
All right, guys. So we're gonna want to run our driver's side line on the bottom fitting, bottom port for the driver's side, top port for the passenger.
So real quick, this is the driver port, this is the passenger port on the oil cooler.
Yes. And then we're gonna come up, we're gonna run over our shift linkage, we're gonna run a double zip tie around there, come back. This is just gonna keep it up away from the drive shaft, and of course you set the tension to keep it away from rubbing up there. And we're gonna come through.
Wait 1 second. So our goal right here, guys, is as we come through, we're just trying to keep the oil line as far away from the drive shaft as possible, and also not just rubbing on the transfer case. So that's just in suspension there.
Yes.
And then we chase that line down the chassis.
Yes. So now before you run the lines, I always start at the rear and work my way forward. Before you come through the firewall here, you're gonna get this 3-inch piece of trim lock. That's gonna go right inside here, okay? And that's gonna keep it from rubbing on that frame rail. I also run a zip tie through the hole there, which gives me enough to where I can put it up and keep it away from the brake lines. It doesn't rub there. From there, we just run a couple lines. There's a trim lock piece on this side as well. That comes factory, that's already there. That's why I only give you one in the kit. Then we just come down, we run our Adele clamps through. I come up, zip tie here, and then we're running up in between the frame and the firewall here.
Well, hang on, John, let's just go back. So I want to go through all the different Adeles. So once we get past the first chassis rail, this just holds the two lines together, right? We have two Adeles that mount to factory drill holes.
Yes, factory drill holes, but you're going to get longer bolts because the bolts that come factory are shorter. Okay. So you're going to get longer bolts to be able to replace these and get the Adele clamps on there with the nuts.
So the Adeles will always go where there's a pickup on the frame.
Yes.
You have location 1, then location 2, all right, location 3, and then as we chase up into the firewall, up into the tunnel past the shifter, this is going to make a turn. And this will turn all the way up to the front.
Correct.
Bulkhead.
Now this is a Diablo. So on a Hefe, we have one more set of Adeles up front. So there will be 3 sets, and that's why you get the 6 clamps. And then you'll same thing. You'll start wrapping at the same point, going up in between the tunnel and the frame. And again, that's just to keep it up and away and secure from anything else going on there.
Okay. And so we're on driver's side footwell as we go up, and we pass between footwell and this frame mount. So the oil line is on the footwell side of this frame rail. And then that will then go straight up to the vehicle.
Yep, straight up through our front firewall.
And I'm just gonna get you a video up here for you guys as well. And then we'll drop the car and I'll show you where the two lines attach. So we'll have a printed version of this as well, but I figure with a video you can always pause it, go back, and be able to look at each video and see if you're missing anything. But pretty simple to do. I get in trouble for using too many zip ties on my race car, but if you feel that you need to put more than we recommend, feel free to do that. But as you see, the two lines will eventually come up. One to passenger and one to driver. And then there's your fill. And you can see how they chase down. Passenger routes under the two bulkhead bars, runs through the firewall, and that will go down the tube. You'll see it from the other side, and then past the shift linkage. Same thing on driver side line, and driver was the first oil one, the lower, right? This is the lower feed off the engine, and this will again behind the two down tubes, and again under the tunnel, and you'll see it go. You see my finger, it's moving it right here. So under the fuse box, and then pick up back under the lower tunnel. So
and again, we're running the double zip ties on here. So we're running one around the frame and then zip tie around that to that. So
that's how we're hooking it. Yeah. Awesome. So any questions, hopefully post them here, we'll be able to respond. But that's your oil cooler install. Have a great weekend.